Good evening, everybody. Welcome to election night coverage here on SNN. And right now we have a special guest with us. This is Jack Brill. He is the acting chair of the Sarasota County GOP. And Jack, of course, your candidate was on the ballot tonight, but just a formality, Donald Trump. But what do you make of the turnout? What do you make of Joe Biden's big victory?
Well, good evening, everybody. And election nights are always exciting, and especially this election. President Trump's turnout when we didn't have a primary was incredible. He had 93% of the vote. It's not a great surprise that Joe Biden won. He had 36,600 and some odd votes. Bernie had 8,907 votes. And the amazing part is Mike Bloomberg had 5,000 votes and he wasn't even running. So, it's an interesting time. And you know what's still very, very impressive for today's turnout in the election, even with everything going on, we had 91,300 and change voters turn out. The great majority was vote by mail, 51,000. Early voting was 15,000. And election day, 25,000 people came out. And I really cannot emphasize enough the compliments to Ron Turner and the supervisor elections staff and their team. They absolutely have been handled a really, really tough game to get this election done and done right and safely. And they had to close a number of polling stations because the poll workers of leaving because of their own safety, which we get.
Yeah.
Actually, I got to say, Ron called out to Joanne DeVries, the head of the Democratic Party, and myself last week, so we get volunteers. We had 28 people show up today to help at the polls, get people to go to the right poll place.
Yeah,
this is a very unique election. It's probably one of the most unique I've ever been involved in.
With the coronavirus, everybody lending a helping hand, that is very important. Now, Jack, as far as Bernie Sanders, 4 years ago against Hillary Clinton, he was in the mid-30s along the Suncoast, Manatee, Sarasota, and Charlotte County. Are you surprised that he couldn't at least get that much support 4 years later against Joe Biden?
No, I think, number one, I think there was such a huge anti-Hillary vote back in 2016 that they were looking at Bernie as anybody but Hillary, I guess would be the right way to phrase it. But at the same time, obviously Vice President Biden since South Carolina has been totally, very much on fire. So it really doesn't surprise me that, he has over 30,000 votes, and it looks like statewide he's running, 60+%. And so he's going to get a significant amount of delegates. And frankly, our primary was not a primary in that respect. We had a primary, but it might as well not been one. So
right.
All
different
the attention
rules
has been on the Democratic
delegates.
side for this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Different rules with the delegates in each party on the primary night. But with Ohio suspending the polls today, I know a lot of people were practicing social distancing here in Florida. There was some call for maybe to be postponed, but it did go forward. And it sounds like people participated, and now we just move on.
Yeah, we move on. The last I heard was over 2.3 million people had voted in Florida. Everyone put such safeguards, the distancing, the hand sanitizers, cleansing, the whole bit, and the huge input of vote by mail. And I think one thing that's going to come away from this primary is the huge increase of vote by mail, and both parties are going to be pushing that, I'm sure.
And even the reason that we're talking the way we are tonight, you and I are on Skype, and ordinarily on election night, you're often right here next to me in the studio.
Absolutely. So, something, let's hope it's not the new normal. We just, we got to get through this, make sure everybody's safe, and then we move back to, in my world, getting Republicans reelected this fall.
That's right, and it's going to be a very busy ballot. Jack Brill, the acting chair of the Sarasota County GOP. Jack, thanks as always for joining us, and be safe.
Thanks, Grant. You too. Always good talking to you.